From Louisiana, Mr. Abraham is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'll just thank the witnesses, especially Dr. Steer and Dr. Lomborg, for their efforts to be here either in person or by video conference. And our chairman, Dr. Smith, has had, thankfully, many hearings on this Clean Power Plant rule that we are discussing today. And I've looked back at past testimony and certainly the previous testimony today. And the figures that I come up with are, if we go all in with President Obama's full compliance, is that it could cost up to $5 trillion per year, which is about, it's over 9% of our GDP. Now, the United States, the other figures I've seen, that at least 40 of our states would have increases in electricity costs of somewhere between 10 and 17%. And India, China, and Dr. Steer, you said that, China was glad that we're leading the role or leading the charge, so to speak. But if you look at China's own reports, they say that their coal consumption has increased 17% higher than previously anticipated. So India, China, and some of these underdeveloped countries are building coal-fired plants at unprecedented rates. So for us as Americans, I look at it as a kind of an all pain, no gain scenario from our previous stance. Now, the other thing that President Obama has said as far as the Paris talks are that it will be a powerful rebuke to terrorism, unquote, because they are holding this climate meeting in Paris. But U.S. intelligence reports also tell me that ISIS, and I think it's been mentioned by one of our members, receives up to $500 million a year through the sale and control of Middle East oil reserves. So as our Commander-in-Chief, I think the President probably made a bold statement. It is a powerful rebuke to terrorism. But as his assumed role as our Commander of Climate Change, he's not allowing our businesses with this Clean Power Plant Act to do business and make America more energy independent. So I guess it will be a rhetorical question, but I'll ask you, Mr. Cass, wouldn't it be a more powerful rebuke to ISIS and other terrorist groups if the President were to actually enact policies that would make America more energy independent so that we don't have to turn to groups of the Middle East to receive our oil?
I don't think it's especially constructive to try to take every other issue out in the world and draw it back to climate change somehow. I think that is a rhetorical device that has stirred up a lot of confusion, but does not really reflect on the relevant energy policy choices or the relevant choices for international negotiation. So I would say the preferable approach would be to focus on what our energy policy actually does and does not accomplish with respect to the climate, instead of suggesting that it has anything to do with ISIS.
Would you say, Mr. Cass, that the current policies, if we continue down this road, does restrict our energy companies from making America more energy independent?
I don't know that the Clean Power Plan will have a significant effect on energy independence. It focuses almost entirely on the electricity sector, for which we already get all of the necessary fuels domestically, whereas it's really oil that is the issue of concern for energy independence.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Abraham, and the gentleman.